Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to see you today. So today I have another true crime ASMR video for you. I will be adding this video to my True Crime ASMR series playlist. And this is where you can find all past and future videos. This series started out really one way and has turned into such a large variety of true crime ASMR stories. And these are all stories that I just stumble upon and that I find interesting. These videos are all things I have seen and just really wanted to learn more about. All of my videos have content that I would like to see myself. So, we have that in common. Today's video will be about the very odd and interesting case of Natalie Grace Barnett. This video will also feature triggers as well. I know that not everybody likes that, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you have any suggestions for something you'd like to see and possibly learn about in the future, please let me know in the comments below. Or just comment below. I love hearing from you. So, let's get into it. Natalia Grace Barnett is a Ukrainian child who arrived in the United States as an adoptee. She was cared for by multiple foster homes until being adopted in 2010. Natalia was allegedly born in Ukraine in 2003. She was placed in an orphanage due to an uncommon form of dwarfism. This is known as, and if I butcher it, I am very, very sorry. So, this form of dwarfism is known as spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia congenital, or SED, SED. SED can result in short stature, stiffness, and joint pain. That would be what contributed to Natalia's height. She was very short. Yes. While in the United States, after many foster home changes, Natalia would become of interest to parents Michael and Christine Barnett. The Barnetts were married, and they were from Indiana. They had met while attending college together. Christine was of Amish faith and abandoned the Amish faith in order to marry Michael. The couple had 3 children, all boys, at the time of adopting Natalia. Christine Barnett is an author and professional speaker who advocates for children with autism. She is the founder of the nonprofit organization Jacob's Place, which is named after her and Michael's eldest son. On April 26th, 2010, the Barnett family would officially adopt Natalia Grace. The Barnetts were under the impression they were adopting a 6-year-old girl from Ukraine with special needs. Soon after adopting Natalia, she had presented many things that were not typical for a 6-year-old girl. Physically, Natalia had adult teeth. She had pubic hair and menstrual cycles. Mentally, Natalia was speaking in a sophisticated manner and possessed a vocabulary beyond that of a young child. Soon after adopting Natalia, she became more violent towards the family as well. Natalia would begin hoarding knives and would threaten to kill the family while they slept. One night, the couple would wake up to Natalia standing at the foot of their bed in the middle of the night with a knife in hand. Natalia would then attempt poisoning her adoptive mother, Christine, by pouring cleaning products in her coffee. Natalia would then threaten to harm their biological children as well. Natalia would later claim these were all misunderstandings. It would then be reported that Natalia would be known for placing upside-down thumbtacks on the stairs for the family to injure themselves on. Her adoptive father, Michael, would state that a lot of escalation had occurred within the first few months of adopting Natalia. Natalia would jump out of cars and throw their children's toys into traffic in the hopes that they would possibly be harmed. seem to fixate on killing Christine. The family recalling Natalia, very openly expressing that. The family would also witness a physical altercation between Natalia and Christine during a trip to a farm for one of their son's birthdays. While Michael was taking their sons for a walk, he would hear screaming. He would run over and see Natalia trying to pull Christine toward an electric fence. This would lead to the Barnetts seeking professional evaluation of Natalia. Doctors would reportedly diagnose her as a sociopath and would tell the family that she was a con artist who posed as a danger to them. During her time at the facility, Natalia would be overly sexual with staff and other patients, which again brought a lot of question to her age. After experiencing this behavior and seeing that Natalia had, when they talk about her pubic hair, I think we should talk about that real quick. She had full on bush, man, full on, like, and for her to be 6 years old and have that, I do know that people who have certain disorders, they can possibly have their sexual organs or their, like for puberty and things like that, they can be more advanced, which is a possibility, but they're quite often talking about her pubic hair, and it is not normal for 6-year-olds to have puberty that early. I have seen it as early as 8, but again, 6 years old is very young. Anyway, she, after them seeing that she had these very hypersexual tendencies and had other things advanced, she had been moved to the adult ward. The Barnetts would have many tests done on Natalia in seeking the truth about her age. The Barnetts alleging bone tests proved she was older, along with the presence of adult teeth, which is very strange. Only 6, maybe 7, and you have all of your adult teeth. This led the family to believe Natalia's birth certificate had been forged. Michael Barnett would even begin to question if Natalia was even from Ukraine. The family had introduced her to a Ukrainian-speaking friend, and Natalia acted as if she'd never even heard the language. Also, the Barnetts would ask Natalia about her time at the orphanage and she would give little to no background of her life. She would even tell the family that it was always summer there in Ukraine. Natalia would also have come with no belongings. She had no Ukrainian toys or really anything from Ukraine that had come with her. She had just come with her clothes. The Barnett's son, Jacob, also would state that Natalia seemed to know very little about Ukraine altogether. She didn't even know their alphabet, and she lacked an accent, which I'm not sure. Maybe she was too young. I don't know. This would lead to the Barnetts going to court to have the birth certificate changed, calling Natalia a sociopathic adult who was out to manipulate and harm the family for her own gain. It was determined that Natalia was actually 23 years old, 14 years older than initially claimed. The couple would then rent Natalia an apartment while they went through a very brutal divorce. The family would eventually move to Canada once Natalia's lease had run up. Natalia's neighbors reported that she was nice to start, but then began exhibiting very bizarre behavior. This would include showing up unannounced in their homes and reportedly stalking them. Natalia would later admit to these actions on a 911 call. The neighbors would also report Natalia being very sexual, including towards married men and even children. Some neighbors did claim it as a case of neglect due to her small stature. Natalia could not climb the stairs to her apartment and couldn't even reach the top of the kitchen counters to make her food. They would also state that after her electric was shut off, social services would step in. Natalia would be taken in by neighbors who have been very outspoken about her age and experiencing no problems with her. In 2019, neglect charges were filed against the Barnetts, although initially they would be filed under child neglect, but due to the age change, it was changed, and it would be changed to dependent neglect. The courts would argue that because of Natalia having she was still dependent on the Barnetts, regardless of age. Eventually, both parents were found not guilty. Natalia would state that at the time of the show airing, she was only 16, not 30 years old, which escort records would show. Dr. Phil would seem to agree with her questioning if, because of her background, if Natalia even knew her own real age. Regardless, he would say that Christine and Michael should have stuck around, as opposed to quitting on Natalia. Natalia's new caregivers, Antoine and Cynthia Mance, would appear with her and defend her fully. The couple having, I believe, 3 children and 1 grandchild who was only a baby. The case has never been fully settled due to Natalia's type of dwarfism, which affects bone growth. This would make it hard for authorities to get a final answer on her age. Natalia continues to claim the Barnetts abandoned her at just 8 years old, while the Barnetts continue to claim she is a scam artist in her 30s. A documentary called The Curious Case of Natalia Grace has been released on the ID network as of Monday, May 29th. So I don't know about you, but I will be watching that. Natalia, however, was not interviewed, and the show will be a 3-part series. It'll include interviews with her adoptive father, Michael, and his son, Jake, which is their eldest son. Christine, however, is not in the series. So, that is today's video. I hope you found it interesting and relaxing. What do you guys think? I'm very undecided in this case. Because later on, they would contact Natalia's alleged birth mother in Ukraine, who would confirm her age, but still, in the court's eyes, this girl is 30 years old. I don't know. I think that we don't know what her life before being adopted was like. She could have been very hypersexualized at a very young age. We don't know if she was in a very non-kid-friendly environment, which, due to PTSD and our ways as people to deal with those things, unfortunately, it causes, a lot of the time, very hypersexual children, which is very hard to deal with, as it is. We also have the thought that maybe she could have just been an early bloomer. It does happen, but she had all adult teeth. I just don't know. It'd be very sad if she was actually that age, and had been abandoned, and she very obviously needed their help. But if she was a con artist, just using this family and tearing their lives apart for personal gain, that's awful too. It's a really tough one. I've seen the interviews with her adoptive father, Michael, which I don't know if I'm reading him correctly. Everybody deals with grief, and after all this, he went through a very difficult divorce. It kind of comes off that he was like a stay-at-home husband for Christine, and now they're divorced. He says in his interviews he has no money, no job, no wife, and blames it all on Natalia. But the way he acts is a little sus to me. I don't know. But he almost seems like too much, and he'll say stories and interactions that he has had with Natalia and then recant them. Just take back what he said. Like, the incident with the electric fence. He had said that Natalia was so strong that she would be able to just pull Christine down. I do believe Christine had been the victim and a very aggressive child, but the Ukrainian mother that they had asked the questions of, asking how old Natalia was, she literally told them, "Why are you still asking me about her? I don't want to be bothered." So I could understand her anger towards women, and maybe she was taking that out on Christine and just really needed therapy. And this family was fairly wealthy. They could have provided her with the right care and help. I mean, it's just, this is a tough case because we really don't know. We're taking pretty much people's words for it. And even though the court agrees with the family, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It is very odd that she had adult teeth. It's very odd at 6 years old. Also, it is very odd that the family just moved out of the country. Like, did you do something wrong? You know, I don't know. Very odd situation that I would love to hear what you think about. If you would like to wait till you wake up, that's fine too. But anyway, now that I'm done rambling and thinking out loud, which I do enjoy rambling to you. I enjoy letting you know what I think. And I hope that you enjoy hearing it. So, thank you so much for watching today. And I hope to see you again